Hey everybody, I think we should be live. Let me know, somebody let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me, because I've never done this before. So I see Road Glide says live, baby. I guess that's a good sign. I'm going to assume that this is working and that you guys can hear me. Maybe I need to turn my microphone up a little. Sound okay. So it sounds like we're in business. Anyway, I have never really gone down this road of doing a live show before because personally, I hate, hello everybody. I know a lot of messages or chats are coming through. And this is one of the things, not you guys, but one of the things I hate about live broadcasts is the presenter spends most of their time saying hello to everybody that's coming into the chat, and there's very little real content. So forgive me if I don't address everybody here. I will, address some of you. I am doing this out in the garage today for a couple of reasons. Number one, I know there may be a lot of echo. I'm not sure if you're getting a lot of echo because I have pretty high garage ceilings and concrete floor, you get a lot of echo. But it's 100 degrees outside today here in Dallas, Fort Worth. And my mini split air conditioner that I had installed, I did have to pay a technician to come out this week. Cost me $800 to get it recharged because it had lost all of its refrigerant and it wasn't cooling. But he got it fixed. And apparently there was some kind of leak. He couldn't find it, but he recharged it. And this thing it's like 75 degrees in here. It's wonderful. So very, very cool. So generally I don't like live shows. I don't watch a lot of them for the reasons I indicated. So I appreciate you guys taking the time today to take time out of your day. Father's Day weekend, Flag Day today. And it's been a very interesting day. And I'm going to tell you about some Father's Day specials I've got, which you may already know about. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. But I started out this morning shooting a video here in the garage. And some of you may know the story about the oil filter on my Honda Goldwing. If not, I'll tell you real quick. As soon as I got this 2024 Goldwing back from Tennessee, I did an oil change and it had about 850 miles. I usually like to do my first oil change at about 500 to 600 miles, just because if there's any machining crap from the factory in there, I like to do an oil change. Anyway, couldn't get the oil filter off. It was on so tight from the factory. I have never had this in 17, 18 years of working on Goldwings and working on other motorcycles. I have never had an oil filter that was so tight I couldn't break it loose. Have you ever had that? If you've ever had that happen to you, put it in the comments. I don't know if you can put in comments until we're done, but put it in the chat. Have you ever had that happen? So I came up with a couple of ideas. First of all, I had a aftermarket Flow Tools. I think you get them at Walmart, like a 67 millimeter oil filter wrench, and it would just spin. I couldn't get it to get a bite on the oil filter. So today I set out to try several different methods of getting that oil filter off. And I tried 2 or 3 different things. I was just about to grab the screwdriver and do the old poke the hole in the side of the filter. Maybe some of you have done that before. I'm going to have a video probably come out tomorrow, and I'll tell you how this all resolved itself. I'm not going to say anymore. I want it to be a surprise because it turned out to be pretty beneficial from a couple of different. It was maybe an opportunity. It actually opened up an opportunity that, and I want to thank Road Glide. A lot of you know Road Glide because he had kind of suggested a few weeks ago that I take this action. And so today I did, and I think it turned out really good. Okay. So I'm going to look through some of these messages real quick. and see if anybody's got an interesting question. Now, I can't do Honda Goldwing tech support on a live show. I might be able to answer some simple questions. Michael said, use a pipe wrench to remove. Well, on the 2018 Goldwing, you got very little room to work with. There's maybe 1/4 of an inch of space between the outside of the oil filter case or the oil filter itself and the crankcase. It's a very tight fit up in there. I actually had one of those little rubber band type oil filter wrenches, and there just wouldn't, you just don't have enough room to work because you've got that shifter boss in the way on the crankcase. And when you see the video I put out, you'll see, because I did a lot of good close-up video, you'll see the problem and you'll see the solution and how it finally got solved. A couple of you have said you've had this happen before. I've never had it happen. I mean, this is my 5th Goldwing. I've never had an oil filter that was stuck. So in this today, we're going to talk about I'm going to update you on some of my accessory installations. I've got some notes down here I'm looking at. I'm going to tell you about getting my title for the motorcycle because I bought the bike in Tennessee and I have to get a Texas title. That's fun. I'm going to tell you about my latest podcast. Some of you may have already seen it, the 7th podcast in the series with Tim Sargent, and he is the senior marketing manager for Senna. If you have not seen it, you might want to check it out. I actually was back at their offices yesterday shooting a couple of little videos for some social media things they're doing. Lewis asked me, have you seen the new Gold Strike oversized mirrors? Yes, I have. I actually have a brand new set sitting right over here next to me of the Muth signal mirrors that I'm putting on my bike because I absolutely love those Muth mirrors with the signals. I know that the Gold Strike mirrors have that too. But anyway, a lot of you are praising the channel and I really appreciate it. I think we got like 55 people on here right now. That's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. Unicorn Hairhead, how you doing? He was at breakfast with us a couple of weeks ago. I think from Ohio, is that right? And he said, put a paper towel in my oil filter wrench to kind of shim it up a little bit. I'm thinking what he's saying. I did that. I did even more than that. So you'll see when you watch the video, all the different things I tried to do. Because I had a friend that recommended that I put some electrical tape on the inside of the filter wrench. And anyway, I took drastic measures to try to do this. And it's real interesting how this turned out. So I'm going to talk about that, talk about some accessory installations, what we're waiting on, why it's taking so long. I'm going to talk about the members only videos. Some of you guys are members of my YouTube channel. Thank you very much for taking the time and spending the money to be a member. And what I've done now is all my behind the scenes videos that I've done in the past are now members only videos. And it doesn't matter what level of membership you are right now. I am putting out every week or two, I'm putting out a behind the scenes video, and those are only for members. Now, there may be other videos that I put out that it may show in the thumbnail members only. And you may think, oh, how am I going to watch this video? Sometimes I'll put out a video and let the members see it first. They'll get early access. Usually within a few hours to no more than 24 hours, that video will be available to everyone. So just because it says members only doesn't mean it's going to be members only forever. You may still get to watch the video. So most of my videos are open to the public. Tim, no, rubber strap did not work on the filter. And you'll see why when you see the video. There just wasn't enough room to work with in there. And anyway, Real quick, maintenance videos on sale for Father's Day, 20% off. Code Dad's Rule. Just go to my website, cruisemansgarage.com. You'll be able to click through and get all that. But my merchandise is also 15% off for Father's Day, and it is Dad 2024. That's the code you'll need to save 15%. Now, what's cool about the merchandise site, and thanks to all of you that have been purchasing this merchandise, like this shirt here and the Shadow Wing cap, I'm just introducing this week a few items that have the dual clutch transmission logo embroidered or screen printed on the items. I don't have it on all the items yet, but I have it on this cap, and it will be on this side. This side has Cruiseman's Garage. This side will have that little dual clutch logo that looks kind of like the one that's on your motorcycle if you have a dual clutch transmission. You can still buy the Shadow Wing stuff without that. But for those of you that are big fans like I am of the dual clutch transmission, maybe you'd want to have that on your cap or your t-shirt. Who knows? Let's see. Penn State fan. What did I cover? You said I just covered it. Let me know what I just covered. I'm not sure. Road Glide. He says, I absolutely love my Muth mirrors also. No comparison. Muth has been making signal mirrors. I found out about it years and years ago from my brother who has a Corvette, and he has them on his Corvette. And he's had them for, I don't know how long, 15 years or more. And he loved them. And that's where I got the idea. And I had them on my 2005 Goldwing. And then I got them for the 2012 Goldwing. And then as soon as I got the 2018 Goldwing, there's no question I was going to have the Muth mirrors, the signal mirrors. I love them. Not only do I think they're a safety item, I think they're kind of the way I can tell if my turn signals are on. I don't even look at the dash. I just see those big chevrons flashing on the right or left side of the bike. And I mean, they're just really cool. Okay. I am stunned at how many of you guys are using the CARLINKIT CarPlay, wireless CarPlay adapter. It blows my mind. I did come out with an affiliate link for CarLinkit, and every day I see all these. They email me every time somebody purchases one. I think there's I don't remember now. Is it a 20% discount, 10%, 20%? If you buy it through the affiliate link. And I've been shocked at how many of you guys are. I love it. It's working great for me. Now, I will tell you, I have had an issue on this new Goldwing that I did not have on the 2018, and I've got to figure out what's going on. I have my Senna Impulse helmet paired to the Goldwing, just like I did on the 2018. And occasionally, it will shut off CarPlay, and I'll get the message on the screen that says CarPlay can't connect CarPlay because the headset has become disconnected. And sure enough, my audio goes out. So for some reason, my Senna headset is disconnecting from the bike. And I never had that happen on the 2018 in the middle of a ride. Let me know in the chat or in the comments if you've had that experience. Has that ever happened to you? Regardless of what brand headset you have. Because I've been having very good luck with this Senna Impulse helmet, as well as the 50S. So I have the 50S mounted to my HJC helmet. And we're also going to talk about, in fact, we might as well go ahead and get this out of the way, the 2025 Goldwing, because I bet I've had, I see Gold Rider 1. Hey, Mac, how you doing? If you guys haven't been to Mac's channel, check out Gold Rider 1. He's got a great channel, does a lot of vlogs on his new 2024 Goldwing, which just coincidentally looks exactly like mine. So the delay in getting my accessories installed is partially because I'm still waiting on parts. I've got a box of stuff coming in from Southern Honda that I've been waiting on now for almost a month. And I don't know I don't know what's going on. I know there's some supply chain things. I know that the home link wasn't available and they were maybe waiting on that before they shipped everything out to me. So I've got home link coming. I've got the little puddle lamps, entry lights, the trunk light that goes on the inside of the trunk harness. I'm just trying to think of all the different Honda line stuff that I'm waiting on to come in. And what I was hoping to be able to do is to do all of these things at the same time, tear the bike apart one time and install as many of these things as I can in one fell swoop. I didn't want to have to take the bike apart every time something comes in, put the bike back together, tear it apart, put it back together. That's what I did last time at the 2018. And I've got a lot of stuff in. I did get some things in from Pathfinder LED. I got my, where is it? It's stuck down here somewhere. I got my Pathfinder LED power accessory hub, which I haven't installed yet. I mentioned in a members only video the other day that I'm working on a new wiring scheme, which I will do a regular video for everybody on that. And I am going to be using the power accessory hub. I do have the Gold Strike power strip that goes under the seat. I've got that coming in too, because I want to be able to review it and talk about it. But I haven't got it yet. That's part of that stuff coming in from Southern Honda. And just real quick, for any of you that are, here's the problem with adding accessories on a Goldwing or any motorcycle for that matter. All of these accessory companies, they just kind of assume that theirs are the only accessories you're going to install. They don't even consider that you might be adding somebody else's accessories. So they all kind of want to work and play together with their stuff, but not necessarily somebody else's stuff. So a lot of times you get these plug and play connectors, whether it's Pathfinder LED or Gold Strike, and they'll have a plug and play harness. This is the one from Pathfinder here. And somebody sent me a message the other day. He said they had just bought, I think it was the cowl lights, and they bought this. And I said, you don't want that. You know, it's $69 you don't need to spend. You definitely need the power accessory hub. This makes this unnecessary. You don't need the plug and play if you've got the power accessory hub. This will work, but, you know, and it's nice. It's simple. It's got little proprietary connectors. The problem is, what if you add something from Gold Strike? You can't add it to this unless you start cutting wires and stripping wires and doing all that. So if you're going to cut and strip wires anyway, you might as well use the power accessory hub. And this protects the electronics of the computer on your motorcycle. Those little plug and play adapters do nothing. They do not protect your CAN bus electrical system. So it's really important to have this. F6B Adventures, aren't you in Alaska by now? I see you online. You're in Arizona. What's it? Are you going to get to Alaska this year? So we were talking about you today. I'm not going to blow the surprise, but yeah, your name came up today with a group. Anyway, so I started to talk to you about my Goldwing wish list. And this isn't necessarily for 2025. This is just whenever Honda decides to redo the Goldwing, I tried to pick out three things, the three things that I thought would be the most important for me. Number one, I still listen to AM FM radio, and the radio reception is terrible on the Honda Goldwing, terrible. So I don't know if it's an antenna issue. I don't know if it's a receiver issue. I don't know what it is, but they should have better AM FM reception. I'll get to some of these questions here in a minute, because I see people asking me a few questions. The second thing, and this is a big deal, I think that the Honda Goldwing should have voice commands. You shouldn't have to take your hands off the handlebars and use the little pad on the left control to select through a bunch of menus. So you should be able to, like you can do with Senna, like you can do with some other products, you should be able to say, hey, Goldwing, AM radio, hey, Goldwing, AM 660, and it switches to that channel. Or, hey, Goldwing, navigation, give me directions to this, and it just does it. It should have the ability to interpret your voice and execute things no matter what it is. It could be anything you have to do in the menu system, you should be able to do with voice commands. Have any of you ever considered that? Have you thought about that? What do you think of that idea? Of course, you'd have to have a headset, obviously, but I think most of us nowadays ride with a Bluetooth headset. I mean, I do. Most of you have either a Cardo or a Senna. And of course, the third thing I picked was better navigation. Now, there's a caveat. The last couple of trips I've taken, I've used Google Maps and Waze, and it wouldn't surprise me to see Honda just move away from a built-in satellite navigation in favor of CarPlay or Android Auto. Not saying I think it's a good idea. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. It'd be a cost-cutting thing for them. I wish they had used Garmin on this motorcycle instead of the Harman. Sounds like Garmin, but it's Harman. And it just hasn't been supported very well. I think most of you would probably agree with that. Somebody said that your warranty is voided when using the Pathfinder Power Hub. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of a warranty claim being denied because you're using whether it's a show chrome isolator fuse block or a Pathfinder accessory hub. That's news to me. It's interesting about talking about warranties. When I was out at Southern Honda Power Sports, I asked Kyle a question about trikes. That if you buy a brand new 2024 Goldwing and you have a trike kit put on, how does that affect your Honda warranty? And his comment was anything from the engine forward, or I guess should say the drivetrain forward, is covered under warranty. Anything that's a trike part obviously is not covered. Even though the argument could be made that that trike is putting more strain on the drivetrain. It's putting more strain on the engine, the clutch, everything. But apparently, and a lot of this may have to do with what dealer you use for service or where you purchase your trike as to what they can or will cover under warranty. But those of you guys that have trikes, you probably know a lot more about this than I do. But somebody asked me that question. What does a trike kit, how does that impact your factory warranty? So excuse me while I take a drink of water. Now, I've always been a big fan of the Honda extended warranty. I don't like the fact that it doesn't cover the electronics, the audio package. If your audio system goes out and has to be replaced under warranty, well, not under warranty, but if it has to be replaced at all and you're not under warranty, that's about a $2,500 fix. So it's very expensive. Or, I've heard people say they jump started their bike and it blew out the audio system and they're not in warranty. So they have to buy a whole new audio system and it's expensive. And that's $2,500, not including labor if you're paying a dealership to do it. And it's a heavy duty job. You got to take the trunk off. You got to get a lot of stuff going on to get to that audio system. So I'm just looking at some of these questions. Okay. Lewis Sellers said the software in the bike is terrible compared to the Indian and the new Harley. I haven't seen the new Harley. I have seen the Indians, and I would agree. I would agree. I think the interface of the Honda Goldwing, the TFT screen needs a complete redesign. Whoever did their graphic user interface, uh, it looked like they ran out of time. They just didn't have time to do a good job with it. It's a beautiful screen. It can produce color. I'm not sure if it produces 4-color. It probably does, but it produces a lot of colors that you can see on Apple CarPlay. With Google Maps, it has all these different colors. So it's a very colorful, color-capable screen. Let me know, can it produce 4-color images like photographs? It probably could, but they could certainly redesign the interface to be more user-friendly. For example, and there's one other feature while I'm thinking about it. I know I'm hopping around here randomly, but this thought just popped into my head. There's another feature I don't know why the Goldwing doesn't have, because the Africa Twin DCT has it, and so does this Rebel 1100 DC that I'm reviewing for Honda right now. I'm actually test riding it now. And that is a user programmable ride mode. So the Africa Twin has it, the Rebel has it, where you can go in and you can adjust the parameters of your ride mode. They call it a user ride mode. I think you have rain and standard and sport and user. And I'm not sure why they didn't give the Goldwing the ability to have a user mode. Maybe they considered that it's a luxury motorcycle and luxury touring people don't want to mess with that granularity, which is kind of stupid. So I think that's the fourth. If I had a fourth thing I think they should do with the Goldwing is add that capability. There's a lot. I got a list of 25 things I think they should do. But I want to preface that by saying still, I think out of the box, it's an amazing motorcycle. I mean, I've been riding it, the last month without any accessories added. And I am just really stunned at how good the bike is just right off the showroom floor. I mean, I can see why it is very likely the best motorcycle ever built. I mean, I'm just a big believer in it. My brother said it would reproduce 3-color RGB, not 4-color. Okay. Well, they could still do a lot with it. You don't need to see photographs on it anyway, unless they had an integrated backup camera or integrated dash cams or something like that. That would be kind of cool. I don't see Honda doing that. I think it'd just drive the cost through the roof. And a lot of people have asked me about the 2025 Goldwing. What do I know about it? When's it coming out? When's it going to be announced? I don't know anything about it, and nobody knows anything about it. I asked Kyle at Southern Power Sports. They're the largest Goldwing dealer in the country, maybe the world. He doesn't know anything about it. Honda didn't tell him anything. So if he doesn't know anything, I damn sure don't know anything. And I doubt that anybody else does. So all of these YouTube videos that you see out there talking about the 2025 Honda Goldwing, it's just clickbait. It's all BS. Most of them are probably AI generated videos. And I hate AI generated videos. You can tell as soon as the first 10 seconds of the video that it's some AI thing with a bunch of B-roll video or stuff they found on the internet. Anyway. Okay, let me look at my questions here. How many of you guys use Android Auto? Just curious. I use CarPlay, and everybody I know personally uses Apple CarPlay because iPhones, I know in Europe, Android is more popular, I think, and maybe even in Asia, is more popular than the iPhone. But in the USA, I believe the iPhone is more popular than Android. So I used to use Android. I switched over to iPhone about 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe 7 years ago. And I think they're both good. I mean, I enjoyed the Android phone too. I just switched over because of the integration to the Mac. I use Macintosh for all my editing. And so that's why I made the switch to iPhone. So I'm going to put that, I'm going to throw up a little poll real quick. And I'm going to ask everybody. I guess they don't let me do that. I thought I could throw up a poll. Guess not. Oh, here we go. Start poll. Sorry, have to watch me do this. This is why I hate live. Okay, so vote in the poll, Android or iPhone. Oh, I said yes, no. That doesn't make any sense. Okay, let me start this over. Okay, you're seeing how the sausage is made now. If you could see the setup that I've got here in the garage, you would laugh. Okay, there we go. That's going to make a little more sense, I think. I'll take a poll on what kind of smartphone you use. And I'm going to assume most of you maybe use your smartphone on your motorcycle. Maybe you just have it paired to your headset directly and listen to music or use it for navigation. Maybe you don't even use the Honda Goldwing interface. And while we're talking about that, I still get a lot of questions about pairing, how to pair the Goldwing for CarPlay. And I'm going to try real quick for those of you that are online and you're interested. I'm going to tell you how I have my system set up. I have my Sena communicator, which in my case is the Impulse helmet or the 50S. I have it paired to the Goldwing, the rider pairing under Bluetooth. I do not have it paired as an audio device to the Goldwing. So the only pairing that I have to the phone to the Goldwing is for audio. So basically, the Sena thinks the Goldwing is a mobile phone because Sena looks at audio devices as mobile phones primarily. Most guys that ride a motorcycle, they're getting their music and their navigation from their iPhone. So you go into mobile phone pairing and you pair to the Goldwing as the rider under Bluetooth settings. And then you have a GPS pairing option, which is a second channel. And I have my GPS paired to that on the Garmin. The Garmin, you can connect Bluetooth. And I call that channel B. So there's like channel A is the Goldwing, channel B is the GPS. The difference is when any communication comes from the GPS, it will mute channel A. So if you're listening to your radio on your Goldwing and Garmin wants to tell you to make a turn in 50 feet, it's going to mute anything on channel A and let you hear that navigation instruction. So that's basically how I do it. I do not connect the iPhone to the Goldwing as a source for making phone calls or any contact list, anything like that. If you're going to do that, if you're going to make phone calls, do it through Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. It's going to work much better. You're going to get better sound quality. Everything's going to work better. And a lot of people have them paired. They have both paired. They have the phone connected to the Goldwing as an audio device and as a phone. And then they also are trying to use CarPlay and they're getting confused. So I hope that makes sense. I'll do a video on that if you're interested to kind of maybe graphically show a little more about how that all plays out. So it's interesting that 44% of you said that you do like live shows. I'm surprised. Because I particularly don't. So I hope you like this one. I don't know. But, okay, how big of an AC unit did you install to cool the garage? Um, mm, I don't remember. I'd have to go back and look it up and watch the video. It was certainly not the smallest unit. I've got 400 square feet in here, plus I have 12 or 13-foot ceilings, and that's really what makes the difference. It was not the smallest unit, but it wasn't the largest either, and I only have one, uh, outlet, one cassette up in the ceiling, and that's where all of my air is coming through. So if you go back and watch one of my videos, search through my channel, I have a video that I did on the mini split air conditioner. And like I say, I'm really glad. And you can, it's on right now. You can't even hear it. I mean, that's how quiet the thing is. And that's what I loved about it is I can be out here making videos and it doesn't roar. In fact, it's quieter than our home air conditioner. So I love it. A lot of you are Android users. Okay, that's good. It looks like 70% are iPhone, 30% are Android. Interesting. Hey, Jarvis Biker, I see you. Shout out there. And so, other thing I want to mention to you real quick, if you haven't asked for a Father's Day gift yet, or if you're planning on getting someone a Father's Day gift, I'm a huge fan of this break-free helmet light. I use it. You've seen me ride the bike. I always have that break-free helmet light on because it's got that decelerometer and a gyroscope. I may be saying that wrong, but it is so cool because when you start slowing down, that thing starts flashing or it increases the intensity of the LED. I think it's a great safety device. They're still $20 off. I think they're regularly $169. They've got them for $149. And if you use promo code Cruiseman, you get another $10 off. So you can get it for $139. It's really a good deal right now. As far as the Sena stuff, like I said, I was out there again yesterday, and I did ask them a question. A couple of you had asked about, are the 60S models going to be backward compatible with the 50S? And I think the answer I got was yes. There might be a firmware upgrade required for the 50S, but yes, your mesh communications and Bluetooth and everything should seamlessly work between the 60S and the 50S. And all of their new helmet products coming out will also be 60S Wave compatible products. What can you tell us about the reset of DCT? Why reset it? The dealer has told me they reset them at every oil change because of clutch wear. I haven't heard so much about clutch wear. The DCT is very sophisticated, and you do have the ability to reset it and initialize it. I've got a video on that if you look it up. It's not that hard to do. It's harder than it should be. It should be in the menu. You should just be able to go to the menu and say reset the DCT and does its thing. But anyway, that's another story. I'm not sure about clutch wear. If anything, it could be the DCT over time as your oil viscosity changes. Maybe it gets dirtier. Maybe the oil is changing certain characteristics and the clutch and the computer is compensating for that. And when you put fresh, clean oil in, it could change some of those characteristics of the oil just enough to confuse the DCT. I'm not sure if that's the case. I just know that I do mine every oil change as well. I just got in the habit of doing it. But I don't know if it's because of clutch wear. Now, why is it necessary? Well, the DCT tries to learn how you ride the motorcycle, and it tries to sort of anticipate when it should be shifting based on your riding style. So it's constantly learning, you might say, and trying to program itself. I'm going to use the term AI because that's the term everybody uses now, but it's not AI. But I'll say that. And occasionally I think it starts getting a little confused, and it may not be shifting as smoothly or at the right time. I know sometimes I'll pull out of a parking lot and it will stay in gear for a long time. I think, is it going to shift? And it finally does. Okay, so it can get confused. So it, to my knowledge, does no harm to do the reset, and it basically just wipes out that memory. It reprograms itself, and there is a procedure for doing this, which, like I say, I have a video on that. So it's probably a good practice to do it at every oil change. I'm not sure if it's because of the oil changing or if it's just that's as good a time as any. I do my oil every 3,500 to 4,000 miles, and I reset my DCT every time. So I hope that answers your question. Lewis, have a great Father's Day weekend, everyone. Thank you, Cruiseman. I guess he's signing off. Yeah, Father's Day Sunday. Hard to believe. Hard to believe. I'm not a father, so. Jarvis Biker says, what do you think of the non-DCT Goldwings? I have ridden a couple of the manuals, and I think the manual transmission is far superior to what it was on my 2012. I don't have a problem. I think they're fine motorcycles. I mean, if you somebody that prefers a manual transmission over a DCT, yeah, I think they're great. Easier to do an oil change. You've only got one oil plug to take out and one crush washer to replace instead of three. You don't have a DCT oil filter to change. So I love my DCT. Probably would never own another bike without it if I had the choice, but I don't have a problem with the manuals. They're good transmissions. Let's see here. Let's see. No more audio? Somebody said there's no more audio. Can you guys not hear me? Are you not getting audio anymore? Road Glide said, is this a Fitbit that I'm wearing? Yes, it is. My brother gave me this 2 or 3 years ago. And, you know, the only thing I really use it for is to count my steps during the day. And I use it to measure my sleep at night, my sleep quality. And it does a pretty good job of that. I would probably have the Apple Watch. The problem is I don't want to have to recharge it every day. This one will last about 4 or 5 days before it needs to be recharged. And if Apple ever gets the battery issue to where it can hold a charge for 4 or 5 days, I'd have an Apple Watch. To me, it's just a hassle having to take it off every day and charge it. So that's why I have the Fitbit. Okay, everybody says they can hear me. Good. I guess that's good. Kid 812 says, can you tell us about the Band-Aid you had on for a long time? Yes. Interesting that you should ask that. That was on the back of this hand here. I had some dermatological work done. You might have also noticed in one of my Senna videos, I had a big mark on my face. I had just gotten back from the dermatologist. I am very prone to basal cell and other carcinomas, and they either freeze or burn them off, and it takes 2 or 3 weeks for it to heal. And I had a really nasty one on the back of my hand, probably sun damage. In fact, the scar is still there, and that thing took forever to heal. It took forever. He froze that one off, and it hurt like hell. And it's the first time I've ever had any dermatological, either freezing or burning, that it actually hurt. I mean, it stung for a couple hours. And then I just wore the Band-Aid because it was pretty gross looking. That's the only reason I had the Band-Aid on. So it's not like I hurt myself on the bike or working on anything. I wish it was dramatic like that, but it wasn't anything that dramatic. Well, Steve Morgan says the new Apple Watch lasts approximately 3 to 3.5 days before needing a recharge. Well, if that's the case, maybe I should revisit that. I didn't know that. I thought they had to be recharged every day. I didn't know they would last that long. Sorry if the camera starts shaking because I'm on a little, kind of a flimsy little cart here in my garage. I just installed a new product in my garage yesterday with Ricky's help. It's a very interesting product that I'm going to be reviewing. I hope to have it out probably the first part of next week. I think if you guys are garage nuts like Mark's Garage, if you guys follow his channel, I mean, this guy, it's an insanely beautiful garage. I mean, he's got everything you could imagine. He's got the dream garage. I'm pretty happy with my garage, but it's nothing like his. And he's got all the toys to go with it too. Well, this is an item that Giraffe Tools sent me to do a review of, and I'll have that out in a few days. And it's actually kind of cool. At first I thought, am I going to use this thing? But now that I have it and I've used it a couple of times, I think it's actually kind of neat. Let's see, $800 for the latest. I know, isn't that ridiculous? $800 for a watch. It's insane. I think the Fitbits you can get for like $50 or $60 or something. Is there a problem using iPhone and Android with CARLINKit? My writer, she has the Android. Don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't even know if you can have two phones connected to the same CARLINKit. Somebody out there probably knows the answer to that. Maybe you can. I thought it was just a one device solution. So I haven't tested that. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. That's a good question though. I need some background music as I read through these comments. Somebody else, Gary, says he has the Apple 8 and it's 3 days charge. If you see a mosquito flying around me, I apologize. I've got one of those little blue lights over here, and it actually does work. Every week or two I look at it and there's a bunch of dead mosquitoes in there. We have a lot of mosquitoes here. And I think it's going to be a bad year for mosquitoes. It's real humid here this year. We've had a ton of rain. We've had a lot of rain. Somebody also asked me, I think it was on the video I did on the dash cam. When I was going down our street, they noticed all the trees piled up on the side of the street. Well, a few weeks ago, we had some real serious storms here. I was in Midland with my brother. Ricky was over with her brother in Kennedale in Fort Worth, near Fort Worth. Jeopardy music. Yeah, that's a good idea. Anyway, we got 80 to 90 mile an hour winds, straight line winds, and lots of people lost their trees. Tree limbs blew down, whole trees blew down. And that's what you see piled up on the side of the road in that video is all these trees that we piled up at the curb, and the city has yet to come pick them up. It's been over 2 weeks ago. I don't know when they're coming to pick them up, but a lot of people got a lot of damage. We were very lucky. We only lost maybe one limb off of a tree, and it wasn't a huge limb. We did get some damage on our fence in the backyard, blew part of it down, kind of, bent the poles. But other than that, we didn't get any hail damage to my knowledge. I don't think our roof suffered any damage that I know of. So that's good. Gold Rider 1 says, I'm not hearing any music. That's because there isn't any. You're fine. Your medications are fine. There is no music. I just said it would be a good idea to have some. Okay, any update on Max's mount for the new dash cam? I got a text from Max today, I think. It was this morning saying that I think he's shipping mine out tomorrow. So within a few days, I should have the new action mount from Traction. Can't wait to see it. I had approached Max with this idea, I don't know, a few months ago, a couple of months ago. I don't even remember when it was, to be honest with you. But I was trying to come up with a design of a way to do an action mount or a mount for a GoPro that would mount under. I was thinking about going under the rear view mirror and out toward the front of the bike so that it would not be mounted to the handlebars. And I gave Max this idea and I said, what can you come up with? Can you think of any way to do this? And Max, being the engineer that he is, he came up with a better idea of putting it above the rear view mirror rather than below. And really, really obvious, actually. I don't know why I didn't think of it. Guess that's why I'm not an engineer. But so he came out with a version. He sent it to me. I think I was the first one. I was certainly the first one to install it. I think Robert White and I and a few others, maybe there might have been like 10 or 12 people that got them. I put it on my motorcycle the night before I left for the 2018, the night before I left to go to Tennessee to pick up the new bike, or what ended up being picking up the new bike. And I noticed that if you pushed the mirror in, it would come into contact with the mount. So I immediately texted Max. If you didn't push the mirror in, you're fine. It still works. I've still got it on my bike. It works fine. Just as long as you don't tip over and the mirror go in, you're okay. So I texted Max, told him right away. And I mean, he got right on it. And within 24 hours, I think he had a video out there talking about how they're going to redesign it. And they've already done that. So, and one thing I'm really glad about is they're apparently going to make it for the right and the left side. I hadn't thought about people in Europe or people who drive on the left side of the road. I call it the wrong side, but that's okay. No, it's that they want the mount on the opposite side, which makes sense. I think it might also be a good idea to have it on the left and the right, because if you want to have a dash cam, it might be a good place to mount a dash cam. Just saying. Could be. So Max did a video just a couple of days ago talking about the new mount, when it's going to be available. I think in that video, he said he's going to be shipping them out. I think they're at the anodizer, and there's an issue with the GoPro mount. If you want the little GoPro fingers, the little 3 fingers that stick up that you mount the GoPro in, if you don't want that, he can ship it to you with the Ram ball mount right away. But if you want the GoPro mount, you might have to wait an extra couple of weeks. So check out his channel, because he does have an updated video talking about that action mount. Oh, Unicorn Hairhead said he saw trees down when he went through Richardson. You were here last week too, wasn't it? 3 weeks ago when we had breakfast. You're back here again? Wow. Yeah, Mike says Max has an updated video on the new mounts yesterday. Yeah, and I watched it last night, I think, and that's where I'm getting my information. Kid says, are you going to ceramic the new bike? Yes. I just haven't decided yet which ceramic coat I'm going to use. I'm not sure if I'm going to go with a graphene or if I'm going to use the what is it? Armor. I want to say Armor All, but it's the Armor. God, I can't, my memory's gone. Whatever I used last time. And it worked great. Very easy to apply, very easy to get on and off. My brother has a new one that he likes that he's going to use on his Corvette when he redoes it. I'm going to look at that. And Avalon King is what I was trying to think of. I used Avalon King last time, And Avalon King has a new version out now, a little bit higher level ceramic coat. I'm not sure if it's graphene or not, but I think it's supposed to last 3 to 5 years instead of 2 to 3 years or something like that. So I might stick with Avalon King. I'm an affiliate of theirs, and I was extremely happy with the results I got last time. But yes, I will be doing it. In fact, I was talking to somebody about this today. Don Cruz, I believe, came out and met me at a local dealership. He was there. He just happened to be there, and we got a chance to meet. He's one of the YouTube members. Great guy. Great to meet him. And I think he was there when we were talking about this ceramic coat issue. And yeah, I will be doing it, especially with this black paint. This black gloss paint, and Honda, their clear coat is super soft. So it gets scratched very, very easily. So yes, I will be putting the ceramic coat on the motorcycle. And I'll do a video on it if anybody's interested. I'd like to get it done pretty quick because since the bike is so new, I don't think I'll have to do a lot of polishing. I mean, the bike hasn't, been exposed to that much harmful environment. It doesn't have a lot of scratches on it right now, just the finest of hairline scratches, and which will buff out very easily. And Kid 812 said the best time to do it is when it's apart. Yeah. Well, I'll be taking it apart if I ever get all my accessories in. So that's for sure. Charles says, what are your thoughts on the F6B? I like the lower price on them. Now, by F6B, I'm assuming you mean the 6th generation, the newer 2018 to 2024 bagger model. They don't really call it an F6B anymore, but I think some people still refer to it as an F6B. I'm fine with it. Let me tell you my thoughts on that. And Gold Rider 1 may want to chime in here because he bought the bagger model because he had some issues with his knees, and it was hard for him to get his leg over the tour model without hurting his knees. Makes sense. We met at Southern Honda Power Sports when I went down there to meet them, had a little meet up with everybody. And we were standing outside talking, and I mentioned to him, and maybe some of you other guys have bagger models for the very same reason. Maybe it's because of your knees or you have issues, and it's harder for you to get on the tour model. And I explained to him that my friend Don Smith had showed me a technique for getting on the motorcycle using the foot pegs, where you step on the foot peg and then put your leg over. And it's much, much easier to get your leg over the seat than it is just going from the ground. He had never heard that before. And when they finally opened up the dealership, I had Kyle demonstrate to Mac how to do that. Now, Mac, his bagger was brand new. I mean, he only had 800 and some miles on it. He only had it a couple of months, I think. And a beautiful bike, beautiful matte blue finish, really pretty bike. Bluebell, I think he called the bike Bluebell. And the bottom line is they made him such a good deal. He rode off on a brand new 2024. I think his was a 2022. He rode off on a brand new 2024 tour model. But let me tell you the advantage of the tour model over the bagger. You can turn a tour model into a bagger. You can remove the trunk. If you want a bagger, you can take the trunk off and you buy this little trunk decoration. I don't know what they call it, little decoration kit that basically it's a little garnish or trim piece that color match to the bike that fits on the back so that it doesn't look stupid that you don't have a trunk on the bike. I mean, it looks like a bagger. But what you gain from that is you gain heated seat, heated grips. And for Mac, we didn't talk about this. If you've got bad knees, you get the reverse. You get the reverse gear, reverse and the walking gear. If you got bad knees, it's going to be hard to back up a Goldwing with bad knees. So you're getting all of these other values. Yeah, it's a little more expensive, but if you buy a bagger and you want to add a trunk to that bagger at some point and turn it into a tour model, you're talking big bucks. I did it on my 2018. So really, dollar for dollar, the tour model is the best value going. You get a lot more accessories and perks, and you can't even add a heated seat. I didn't know this. The wiring harness on the bagger model is different than it is on the tour model. It doesn't even have the plug for the heated seat. So it's not like they just didn't give you the heated seat. They didn't give you a way to plug it in if you bought a heated seat. It's for Honda to go to the expense of creating a completely different wiring harness for that bagger model defies logic in my mind. So really, Gold Rider 1 said the so-called cowboy mounting. Yeah, you mount it like you do a horse. You know how on a horse you step on the stirrup and you put your leg over? Well, that's how you mount the Goldwing, by stepping on the footrest and put your leg over. Thank you for bringing that up. So to me, the tour model is a much better value because you're getting the heated seat, the heated grips, you're getting the reverse, and you're getting some other electronics. You guys that have bagger models, you know what you're not getting. I honestly don't remember all the things, but there are several things you get with the tour model that you don't get with the bagger. And if you want to turn the tour into a bagger, you can. So that's my thought on it. Okay, let's see. Road Glide is inviting people to join us for breakfast in Carrollton. Yeah, we meet every Sunday at 7 o'clock at a wake in Carrollton. And if you show up early, we might be at the Einsteins next door, but certainly we're at a wake by 7 o'clock. Anybody in the DFW area is welcome to come. Oh, and by the way, just in case there's several people on here from the DFW area, spread the word on this. I got a package in the other day from my friends over at Showchrome, and I've got the GT Marvel trunk light, mounts to the back of the trunk. I don't know why the camera's zooming in, but it is. I have no control over that. They've taken over control of my camera. These come in 4 different configurations, and if anybody in the Dallas-Fort Worth area is interested in having one of these on their bike, I need a donor bike to install this on. The caveat is I need to have the bike for the better part of a day. You'd have to drive it over here, drop it off. You can come back later and pick it up when I'm done. And because they want me to make a video showing the installation of this. So, and you get to pick what color combination. It comes in matte black and it comes in chrome, and you can pick. I've got 4 of them. I've got 4, 1 in each color combination. So it has sequential turn signals. It has a brake light, it has a running light. So if you're interested, anybody in the DFW area, let me know. Email me at info@cruisemansgarage.com. Let's see. Matt Lewis. Oh, yeah. Hey, Matt. A friend and I rode down to Carrollton, had breakfast with Cruiseman and his crew. Not my crew. Enjoyable morning with great guys. Yeah, we had a good time. That was a couple of weeks ago. We really enjoyed it. Hope you come back sometime. It's a pretty good drive. As I recall, you're from Arkansas. And that was a pretty good drive. We've had people come in from Canada that happened to be coming through the area that stopped by and had breakfast with us. Unicorn Hairhead from Ohio, I believe it is. I hope I get that. I always get Idaho, Ohio, and Iowa mixed up. I hope it's Ohio. But we had a great time. Road Glide comes over every now and then. Sometimes Adden, when he's not on the road in Alaska or wherever, he's always gone somewhere, it seems like. So when he's in town, sometimes he'll come join us for breakfast. So usually have a good time. And hey, I've really enjoyed this. I don't know if any of you got any value out of it, or if you want me to do any more of these. If you do, put it in the comment. Like I say, I'm not even sure if you can put comments in on this until it's ended. Maybe you can only put comments. And as far as links, I'll put links in the video to some of these Father's Day specials. Once we're done here and it's uploaded to YouTube, I'll make sure to get links in there. We've been going at this thing about an hour now, and I think it's time to probably shut it down and me go get something to eat. So anyway, thanks again for everybody for joining me on Cruiseman Live. If you want more of these, let me know in the future. I probably won't do them very often, maybe once a month or so. Or if there's something worthy of talking about that we can chat about. And thanks again for joining me. I'll see you guys soon because I'll have a new video out tomorrow on this oil filter issue. So make sure, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you click the like button. You know the drill. I've already got 49 likes. I guess that's pretty good. Okay, guys, I'll see you soon.